Hello everyone, I am Dr. MBS Sudhakar, working as Associate Professor in the Department of MBA, BVRIT. Today I am here to present on the topic hedging strategies in a commodities market. So I name this particular presentation as hedging using commodities derivatives. So the derivatives is it's a financial instrument in the financial market, and derivatives plays a very predominant role to mitigate the risk or to hedge the risk of the investors. We have the subject called as risk management and derivatives in our third semester for our MBA students, and this topic which I am going to cover in this class is going to be very helpful to the MBA finance students. So I want everyone to please go through this, because the derivatives main objective is to mitigate the risk or to hedge the risk of investment. And here in this session, I would like to focus more on the commodity derivatives rather than stock derivatives or any other derivatives. And now my focus will be on the commodity derivatives. The commodities market is one of the vibrant market in the investment world. Commodity is any good or a stock where it has some economical value which can be exchanged with other commodities or exchanged with rupee monetary terms. That can be called as a commodities. So in this particular presentation, I would like to focus upon how we can hedge the risk of investing in commodities. Okay, that is the topic, main crux of this particular presentation, hedging using commodity derivatives. We have in India, there are certain commodity exchanges which provide an opportunity for us to invest in commodities market like MCX, NCDX. MCX stands for Multi Commodity Exchange and NCDX stands for National Commodity Derivative Exchange. So investors, not alone they can invest in stocks, they should also need to have an awareness about investment in commodities, and which can be considered as a very lucrative way of investment, provided that we should have a market exposure relating to how the commodities prices are changing, and in the future how the commodities price is going to change. If we could able to know, then this commodities market is going to be a very good opportunity for the investors to make an investment. Now let us talk about the commodity derivatives, and let us have an introduction about what is this commodity derivatives, and then how the hedging strategies through using futures and options we can use to hedge the risks. That we will have a discussion on this now. Now, very first slide talks about the introduction of commodity derivatives. What is this commodity derivatives? Very few people have an awareness, even for our students also. There is it has not been much talked about what is commodity derivatives. Main focus is on the forwards, futures, options. These are derivative contracts only in stocks. Only in stocks and stock indices it was talked about, but very less it has been talked about what is this commodities and commodity derivatives, how it can be used. That is the reason my main focus of taking this particular topic is to make the student aware about the commodity derivatives and how the trading usually takes place in a commodity derivatives, and what are the various hedging strategies through you for futures and options we can use to hedge the risks. Okay, that is the main objective of considering this particular presentation. There are financial instruments derive their commodities or the financial instruments derive their value from the underlying commodity and traded on the exchanges like Multi Commodity and National Commodity Derivative Exchange. It plays a significant role in hedging risk associated with price fluctuations in commodities such as agricultural products, metals, and energy resources. So this particular slide talks about what is these commodity derivatives, the meaning of these particular commodity derivatives. As we see, it's a financial instrument derive its value from the commodities. See here, a commodities, as I have told, any good or any agricultural product, or it may be a metal, or it may be energy. So that can be exchanged with other goods, or it has some economical value. You can exchange that commodity with some money. So that is called as a commodity. So this is a financial commodity derivatives or a financial instrument. Now we are not talking about commodities, we are talking about commodity derivatives. Okay, so a derivative is a financial instrument whose value is derived from the underlying asset. That is about the derivative. So all the contracts which will be executed, which tend to executed in the future, will be the derivative contracts. Okay, for which you are now entering into a contract now. Any contract which will be executed in the future, for which you are now entering into a contract, can be called as a derivative contracts. We have so many are there: forwards, futures, swaps, and options. And now here, when you enter into a derivative contract on the commodities, we say it is called as a commodity derivative. That is the meaning of this. And where we can enter into where we enter into a derivative contract, we can enter into a derivative contract either in MCX or maybe NCDX in India. Okay, so and why these particular derivative contracts has been introduced in India? It's the main focus. So here derivative contracts is majorly introduced to hedge the risks for agricultural people, agricultural farmers. Now farmers, when they start harvesting their, when they start cultivating the crop, so they sow the seeds today and they reap the, that is they harvest their proceeds after 6 months or maybe after 4 months. Now by the time when they sow the seeds and by the time when they harvest, the prices of the agricultural commodities is going to vary or it's going to change. We have seen in the past, for the past 6-7 months, we are observing how the prices of the agricultural products are varying or how it is changing. For example, let us take tomato itself. Tomato prices are showing a wide fluctuations. Some time ago, it's per kg it costs 100 rupees. At that time, it's the price of that particular product, it comes down to, okay, 30 rupees, 20 rupees, even less than 10 rupees also. There are wide fluctuations for these agricultural commodities. So here in this commodity derivatives, we will not talk about the perishable agricultural products. We only talk about the durable commodities, right? That is, which can be stored and stored for future use. Such type of products comes under the commodity derivatives, but not perishable products. This is to make you understand that how the price fluctuations are there for the various commodities, to make you understand this particular example I have taken. You can take any example, you can take even chana, dal, you can take even the rice also. So these commodities, where these are agrarian commodities which are widely cultivated in a country like India, its prices tend to fluctuate. Okay, because of the change in time, because of the excess supply in the market, its prices usually changes. There will be a huge fluctuations in the price of these particular commodities. So how the farmers could able to protect themselves with these particular price fluctuations? They can by entering into a derivative contract. That is the reason the commodity derivatives are introduced, and that is the reason these particular commodity derivatives has gained much prominence, okay, these days. Now, the second slide also talks about the brief introduction relating to the commodity derivatives. Let us see what is given. The commodity derivatives market in India has evolved since the early 2000, when electronic trading platform was introduced, enabling greater transparency and liquidity. So electronic trading platform, this is online screen-based trading system. We call it as screen-based trading system. This was first introduced in the year 1994. NSE is the pioneer in this particular screen-based trading platform. Later on, BSE has also transitioned from the outcry system to the screen-based system. With the advent of the technology, with the use of the technology in this particular trading of the stocks and the other type of trading, the commodity markets have been evolved. So commodity markets straight away, it has been started with a screen-based trading system, right? So that has been in the year 2000. Derivatives such as futures and options allow producers, traders, and investors to manage risk and speculate on future price movements. So commodity derivatives or the derivatives, whatever may be the derivatives, what happens is the traders, what they do is they use the futures and options. Not alone the traders, the producers, the investors who want to mitigate the risk, who want to manage the risk, they are investing in this particular commodity derivatives. And these particular commodity derivatives, the mark MCX or maybe NCDX, is being regulated by the regulatory body. We have a Securities Exchange Board of India. Earlier, before, we used to have the Forward Market Commission. It was being replaced and it has been given to the Securities Exchange Board of India to regulate these particular commodity derivatives. right? Time to time, SEBI comes out with various guidelines, rules, and regulations with respect to how this particular exchange has to operate. Now, these when you talk about the MCX and NCDX, it's the usual timing of this particular MCX and NCDX is from 9:15 to 11:30. For some products like agricultural products, agricultural commodities, it is up to 5:30. For metals, energy, and for other products, it is the trading platform will be open up to 11:30, right? Whereas in case of stocks, if you want to invest in any stock derivatives, the timing is from 9:15 to 3:30, right? Because the why that particular time span is for commodity derivatives is because the participants in the commodity derivatives is not alone to the people in India, but throughout the participants throughout the world, many other people. Now we all know that the globe is now one village. Many other people, the other parts of the country, if they want to invest in the Indian commodities, or if they want to buy enter into any of the future derivative contracts in commodities, for them the platform need to be open. That's the reason the timing it has been set like that, 9:30, 9:15 to 11:30 late night. So that is the timing of the MCX and NCDX. SEBI is the regulatory body for this particular commodity derivatives, which ensures stability and protect market participants from excessive volatility and manipulation. All the time to time, SEBI it's a watchdog. In fact, it observes how this particular trading platform is working, how the investors are investing in, whether there is any excess speculation on any of the commodities. This particular SEBI Securities Exchange Board of India, time to time it observes, and if it identifies something fishy is happening, or if it identifies that something inappropriate is happening, immediately what it steps in and it will regulate the trading platform. The Indian government has recognized the importance of this particular market for farmers and producers, especially in the agricultural sector, where commodity derivatives help in stabilizing income through price discovery and risk management. So the Indian government is also has encouraging these particular the producers. Here the producers, what's the meaning of this producers who uses these particular commodities while to produce their products? Maybe the gold jewelry people, maybe the bakery people. The bakery people, they use the wheat flour to produce this particular, what is that, the cakes as well as the bread. In fact, Britannia is the major user of this particular agricultural product. Britannia, to make the biscuits, they use this particular wheat flour as well as other. So the producers of various commodities also who depend on the agricultural products, they also use this particular commodity platform, right? The farmers uses, the producers uses, and many other people, they use this particular platform to mitigate the risk or to hedge the increase in the to hedge the risk that arises because of changes in the price of the commodities, right? So that is all about the slide number 2. Hope you understood it. Now the third slide talks about the definition of the commodity. Let us have a glance about what is this commodity, right? Now here the commodity is any good having commercial value, which can be produced, bought, sold and consumed. So commodity is any good having commercial value. It has some commercial value. In monetary terms, it has to have some value. That's the meaning of commercial value. Which can be bought, which can be produced or sold and consumed. Commodities will be consumed, dried wheat, dal, that can be consumed. And with the commodities, as I have told you that you can produce some end product. As I have told you that Britannia uses this wheat flour to manufacture the biscuits, and it is widely bought and sold in the wholesale market, retail market. Commodities like mirchi, right, other things, right. These are the commodities. That is what the commodities has been defined. In other words, commodity is a good used in commerce, that is in the trade, that is interchangeable with other commodities of such type. You can use these particular commodities to buy and sell with other commodities. That also happens in the real world market. Commodities are most often used as inputs in the production of other goods. As I have told you rightly, even rubber is used by many manufacturers. Okay, to manufacture their end products, they use this particular rubber. Gold is used by many manufacturers to manufacture the fine finished gold jewelry. Like that, there are many commodities are being used as a raw material input for manufacturing by the producers. The quality of a given commodity may differ slightly, but it is essentially uniform across producers. Now here the quality, when you talk about the quality, there might be slight differences with that particular quality of the product. So that more or less this particular will be same across all the producers. The quality will also be definitely, it will be mentioned in the commodity derivatives, it will be very clearly mentioned. Whomever entering into a commodity market as a buyer or a seller, that will be very clearly mentioned for which commodity the trade is being, for which commodity the buying and selling is accepted. For example, in case of gold commodity, it will be very clearly mentioned. Okay, what is a 22 karat gold, 24 karat gold, very clearly mentioned, so that at the end of the contract you cannot say that I do not know it. The buyer or the seller cannot say that I did not know it. Very specifically it will be very clearly mentioned that, so which commodity, what is its quality, and the quantity of the commodity, and the duration, what is that contract period, how long it is open for, everything is very clearly mentioned. Notably, when they are traded on the exchange, commodities must also meet specific minimum standards, sometimes known as the basis grade. So the commodities has to, definitely it has to meet the minimum standard. I told you, as I have told you very clearly, that the quality of the commodity, the quantity of the commodity, it's very clearly mentioned when you enter into any of the commodity market as a buyer by taking a long position, or as a seller by taking a short position. Now, these are the various types of commodities which are open for trading in the commodities market, either NCX or NCDX, MCX or NCDX. There are these commodities. In fact, it was given in this MCDX and NCDX that it allows trading on 44 different types of commodities. 44 different types of commodities, and all that 44 has been brought under 4 categories. I am not giving you the exhaustive list of all that particular 44 which comes under which classification, but I am giving you in a brief that all that 44 comes under 4 different classes. What are that 4 different classes? Metals, that 2 precious metals, base metals, energy, agricultural commodities. Precious metals, we know that gold, silver, this is very precious because these metals are used as an investment as well as a ornaments. Okay, those metals are very precious. Okay, like gold, silver, and base metals. These base metals will be used for our daily consumption in our daily life. For example, copper, zinc, lead, nickel, aluminium, this steel. These are the metals that we use by the manufacturers to produce the end product. Energy, so crude oil, natural gas, natural gas, crude oil. On this also the trading is allowed. Agricultural commodities like cotton, various agricultural commodities. In fact, the exhaustive list is there, big list is there, that is not entirely covered here. To get an idea, we have taken only 3 as an example: cotton, crude, palm oil, and then methane oil. So these are the different types of the commodities which are being traded in the commodities exchange. Now, what is hedging? This is the point what I am driving all of you into. Now, how we protect ourselves from the risk of change in the prices, and the method that we follow to protect ourselves with the change in the prices, with the future change in the price of the commodities, is called as hedging. Okay, so I have considered here, there are, as I have told you, that there is an exhaustive list of some 44 commodities are there which are being offered for buying and selling in the commodity exchange. Now, all that 44 I am not taking. So, I am taking one precious metal as an example to make you understand how this hedging can be done by the buyers and sellers in the market, right? So, that precious metal is gold. Now, hedging is the process of reducing or controlling risk. The dictionary meaning of hedging is a way of protecting oneself against the financial loss or adverse circumstances. Once again, please go through this. Hedging is the process of reducing or controlling risk, and the dictionary meaning of hedging is the way one protects oneself from financial loss or other adverse circumstances. Hedging on commodity derivative exchange can be undertaken using the futures and options contract. So how we do the hedging? By using derivative contracts, and that too options and futures. So these are the two derivative contracts which we enter into to protect ourselves from the changes in the price of the derivatives, or to hedge ourselves from the price risk. Hope you understood. Now, who are the hedges? Now, I have taken here an example. Do not forget, throughout this exercise, throughout this presentation, my example will not change. The example which I have considered is gold. I am now considering gold, and to hedge gold, how we enter into, how these particular futures and options is going to help to us. I am going to consider that to make you understand, right? So don't switch from gold to the other metals. Please stick on to this gold. Now, who are the major hedges in this particular gold? The corporations, the companies. There are so many companies which now they are into the organized sector of buying and selling of the gold. For example, Joy Alucas, Malabar Gold. Many companies are there, and even unorganized segment also. Unorganized segment is vast. In fact, much is there. Okay. In fact, I can tell you that 90% we have unorganized sector, and 10%, 10 to 15% we have organized sector in the area of gold. Now, let us take an organized sector, Joy Lucas, Malabar Gold, XYZ, all these companies they are buying the gold and then making into ornaments and then selling into the market to the customers. They are the major users of the gold. So that's the corporations. Now, mining companies, there are certain companies which are into extraction of gold, right? Those are the mining companies are there. They are the major participants. They want to hedge the price risk of these changes in the price risk of this particular metal. Next, market intermediaries. There will be intermediaries in the market who will be acting as a middleman between the buyers and sellers. They will also be much concerned about. Sometimes they hold the asset and for some time because they want to take an advantage of increasing the price of the metal or the stock. They will be the major participants in this particular contracts, derivative contracts. Merchandisers, jewelers and designers, importers and exporters. India is a major importer of the gold. Okay, and China is a major importer of the gold. China is an exporter of the gold also, right? So these countries as well as the corporations, they will be the importers and exporters of the gold. They will be they will be much bothered about the change in the price of this particular metal. So what is that they do is they hedge themselves, they protect themselves with the change in the price of this particular metal. So they involved in this particular hedging activity. So bullion and jewelry traders, these are the major hedges of this particular metal. And we have factors impacting, there are various reasons. Now here the question that arises, sir, what you are talking about, why the price changes that usually happen with the gold, right? Just like stocks, the price of the gold will also changes because of the demand and supply factors. Now if there is a huge demand for the gold, usually now what happens is during this Diwali and during any of the marriage festivals. Okay, in India we know that marriages usually happen during some months. During that peak months, what happens is the demand for gold usually it surges all of a sudden. Now what happens, as the demand for the gold surges, naturally the price of the gold will also increases. And during the lean seasons, when there is no demand for the gold, when there is no marriage season, naturally its price falls slightly. So this is based on the demand and supply. What happens is the price of the gold, it usually varies. And also there is a relationship between the stock prices as well as the price of the gold. Usually what happens is when stock prices, the stock market is in very good shape, that is when price of the stocks increases, naturally the price of the gold will come down. I don't say drastically, a little bit. When the market crashes, naturally what happens is the gold price increases. There will be opposite. Okay, the price of this particular gold as well as the stocks, it moves in the opposite way. So there are various reasons, not one reason, various factors that influence the price of the gold that we will see. Okay, we have here the big list, which is the causes for the changes in the price of the gold. For example, currency exchange rate movements. See, usually this is gold metal. Gold metal we do not produce in India. This is a naturally available thing. We get it from other countries. maybe China and other countries, they are the producers of gold. Now we get gold. In fact, we also have mining activity here, but that gold that is produced is mining activity. It's a very small, in fact, very trivial. So that cannot meet the demand for of the Indian people. So that's the reason we majorly import it from the other countries, right? So maybe China and other. As we import, naturally, what happens is exchange rates usually as the exchange rate changes, naturally, sometimes we have to pay more for gold. Sometimes we have to pay less for the gold, right? So sometimes we'll be in an advantage stage. Sometimes we'll be in a disadvantage state, wherein we have to pay much of the money in the form of change in the exchange rates. So that is one reason. Next is gold demand. As I have told you that China and India is the major users of the gold. When gold demand increases in China and India, naturally the price will also fluctuate. Supply, China, US, the South Africa is the major suppliers of these particular gold. And when they find, okay, they could not able to supply more, and when there is a higher demand from these countries like India, naturally they increase the prices. These are all economical concept. When there is a higher demand, naturally the price increases. When there is a lesser demand, the price comes down. When the currency price fluctuates, naturally the demand, the price of this particular gold metal will changes. So change in the import duties and economic factors. Import duties means here sometimes the government will restrict. So government, if it considers the foreign exchange in India, it's coming down drastically. So it may put some bars, it may put some restriction on the import of the gold, because gold is not very much important for a country like India. What might be more important, it might consider that oil is more important because the world runs on oil. Now it will not restrict the import of the oil, but it may restrict the import of the gold by imposing the import duties. That is one reason. Next is economic factors, employment in housing data, major economy, especially US, interest rate movements, especially in US, and political turmoil. These are the major impacting factors of changes in the price of the gold. Okay, hope you understood. So the point that you need to understand here is the prices of the elemental or the gold, it is subjected to fluctuations. It will not be constant. It changes or it varies. Now, the users of the gold, maybe the corporations or maybe even the common people also, what they have to do is they have to protect themselves with the change in the price rises. So that is called as hedging activity. That is the point that we are bringing into the discussion in this particular presentation. Now, how they can hedge? By using the derivative contracts. And what are the derivative contracts that I am now talking about is futures as well as the options. Let us talk about the futures contract first. Futures is a derivative contract wherein you are going to enter into a derivative contract as a buyer or a seller. When you enter into a derivative contract, futures contract, so as a buyer, you are taking a long position. When you enter into a futures derivative contract as a seller, you are taking a short position. Now, as a buyer, how you can hedge the risk, or as a seller, how you can hedge the risk, that we will see now. Now, when you talk about the futures contract, that is offered, you can enter into a derivative futures contract in NCX or maybe NCDX. So what is that you can do is, you can enter into these derivative contract as a buyer to buy maybe 1 kg of gold, or maybe 100 grams of gold, or maybe 10 grams of gold you can enter into. The quantity as well as the quality of the good will also be very clearly specified. Now, when it comes to entering into buying a 1 kg of gold, the duration will be 1 year time period. Okay, you enter into a market as a buyer today, then actually the contract period will be for 1 year period. If you want to buy 100 grams of gold, there will be a monthly contracts. You can buy it a 1 month contract, 2 months contract, 3 months contract. Okay. Now, when you enter into any of the contract, any of the futures contract as a buyer or a seller, you can come out of the contract before the expiry of the contract period. Usually, the contract period expiry will be the last working day of that particular month. Okay. So, suppose if it is today is now here, it is 20th of September. enter into a contract. You can come out of the contract. You as a buyer enter into the futures contract. You can come out of the contract by taking an opposite position or by selling your particular contract to other people and can come out of that particular contract, okay, before the expiry date itself, right? So that is about the futures derivatives, right? Now here, if you want to, suppose if I enter into a contract as a buyer to buy some 100 grams of gold or 1000 grams of gold. Now if I want to take the delivery, that also can happen. So delivery can be also made through the warehouses of these MCX as well as NCDX. So there are certain warehouses that are being listed by the MCX as well as NCDX. In that particular exchange, you can take the delivery of the gold on the due date, right? That will be also mentioned very clearly in the terms and conditions. Anyway, futures contract is a contract wherein you can enter into a contract as a buyer or seller to hedge the risk. When you enter into a buyer or a seller by taking a long position or short position, it's not required that you have to hold that contract until the expiry date and take the delivery. You can take an opposite position and can come out of the contract anytime before the expiry date, right? Now, the glimpse about the futures contract that is being offered in MCX is given here. So MCX gold futures contract, what is these features of this particular gold futures contract is given here. The symbol is, there are different types of contracts that are there on the gold. One is gold, the next is gold mini, gold ginia, and then gold petal. So these are the 4 different metals that you can buy or enter into a contract. So now when you talk about the gold contracts, these are available in February, April. For every 3 months there will be a contract. Not for every 3 months, every 2 months. February, April, June, August, October, December, you can enter into a contract. So in a gold mini, in a gold ginia, and then in a gold petal, every month contract is available. And last trading day is, observe this, last trading day for this particular gold and gold mini, it is the 5th day of the contract expiry month. Suppose if the contract is October, that is in the October, if you have entered into October contract of 2024, the contract last trading day will be the 5th. Okay, that is the first week, 5th of that particular month. The 5th day is the whole holiday. If the 5th day is a holiday, then the preceding day, before 5th, maybe 4th if it is a working day, that day will be the last trading day. And for the other 2 gold contracts, it will be the last calendar day of the contract expiry month. Okay, last calendar day, that is the last trading day of that particular month. Okay, and the trading period usually will be 9 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. every day. Okay, from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. for all these particular gold contracts. And the trading quantity. So when you enter into a gold contract, the trading quantity, how much you have to buy and sell is 1 kg. And gold mini, it is 100 grams. Gold genuine, it is 8 grams. Gold petal, it is 1 gram. And quotation is, the quotes that is given in this particular exchange, it is only for 10 grams. It is not for 1 kg. So the price quotes that is given in the trading platform, it is only for 10 grams of gold, right? So 10 grams of gold mini, 8 grams of gold genuine, and then 1 gram of gold petal. And the price quote, see, what is that price? You might be thinking that, yeah, what is this price? This price is not that there in Hyderabad. Now, usually they take the price of the Ahmedabad. So Ahmedabad is the market for gold, wide market for gold throughout the country. So they take the price of Ahmedabad, that what is the price that is being traded in the Ahmedabad of that particular gold for 1 kg, that they give it as a list. Okay, that they will list in that particular MCX and NCDX. And then for gold petal, it is Mumbai. And maximum order size, you can place a maximum order of 10 kgs, not more than that, right? And tick size, see it, you can observe that if there is a change in the price for 10 grams, if there is a 1 rupee change, then that will be visible. Okay, it's not in paisa. Okay, if it is in 1 rupee, that will be made visible, right? If there is increase in 1 rupee, that will be immediately exhibited. Decrease in 1 rupee, that will be immediately exhibited in the exchange. So that is tick size. And daily price limit. Suppose here, if there is a higher volatility of this particular metal, if the price of this, suppose if 10 grams, let us take, this is a hypothetical example, it's not real fact. Suppose 10 grams of gold is something around, now it is around some 80,000. It's not 80,000, I think it is some 70,000. Let us take, for simplicity, 10,000. Let us take simplicity 10,000. If because of some reason, if the price changes in that particular intraday to the extent of 3%, so 3%, maybe 3% of on that particular day, 10,000, it is around maybe 300. If the price varying is up to 3% of that particular 10,000, so it will be acceptable. Okay, some what we can say that relaxation will be there. Up to 6%, it may change from 3% to 6%. But if it changes up to 9%, that is, if it becomes 900, some varying is, it may be on either side. It may be, it may come down to 900 or it may increase to 900. 9%. What happens is some cooling off period for 2 hours, 3 hours will be given. It's not 2 hours, sorry, 15 minutes will be given. So for 15 minutes, the trading platform will get stopped, not allowing the buyers and sellers to trade on this particular metal. Okay, so that is called as daily price limit, cooling off period. After 15 minutes, again, it will be, the traders will be given a chance to again trade. This cooling off period is a period wherein the people will be introspecting. Yeah, they'll be thinking how these price variations, this is really the things that this is, what is that reasons why it's happening, and then is that really a demand is there or it's a bubble? The people will be thinking about that, and later they will be again start trading on it, right? Now, initial margin is the minimum is 6% of the value of the contract. Usually, it will be 6% of the value of the contract, or based on span, whichever the span is decided by the MCX and NCDX. Okay. Standard portfolio analysis. We say the full form of span is standard portfolio analysis, whichever is higher. And the extreme loss margin is minimum 1%. See, some cases, if the metal in which you are entering into or the contract, it may be there is a higher volatility is there in that particular metal, more price fluctuation is there, then additional 1%. Okay, extra loss margin will also be charged. Then additional special margin. In case of additional volatility or additional margin, or a special margin at a certain percentage is deemed fit, will be imposed, right? Special margin will also be charged on this particular, and maximum allowable open position for individual clients. So an individual, how much he can buy, how much he can enter into a contract, that's clearly very given here. Okay, 5 metric tons for gold futures contract combined together, or 5% of market wide open position. So of the total of the open contracts, if it is 5% or more, is not allowed. Okay, up to the 5% it is allowed, because if more is allowed, next there is a chances of more fluctuation is going to happen, and because of which the retail investors is going to suffer. That is the reason. Not more than 5% of the open position of all the total of the value of the open positions of all the contracts. For members collectively, for all the clients, it is 50 MT or 20% of the market wide open position. Okay, for all the future contracts combined together, right? So it is in case of individual clients, it is in case of members collectively for all the clients. Okay, for all the clients means for all the, for example, Zerodha, okay, other broker firms will be there collectively of all the broker firms. Okay, not more than 20%. If Zerodha, if it has more number of people, and if it want to, or Motilal Oswal, if it members collectively, if it make an investment of up to 20% or more, then it will be stopped, not will be allowed. Okay, so that's the point. Maximum allowable open position. Delivery unit, it will be 1 kg, 100 grams, 8 grams, and 1 gram for all these contracts. And delivery margin period, it will be delivery margin period shall be higher of 3% 5%, 3% or 5-day 99% VAR for spot price volatility, or 25%. See, when the delivery contract is, when the delivery due date is coming nearer, naturally delivery margin will also be there. That will be usually 25% of the total value of the product. Okay, and delivery center will be in Ahmedabad for gold, and it will be Mumbai for gold petal, and additional delivery center is also made available, because MCX is going in a very aggressive way. They want to see that they want to take this particular trading in commodity exchange very widely. So they have started delivery centers also at different places throughout the country. And one such place we have in Hyderabad also, where even if you want to take a delivery in the gold, you can take delivery in Hyderabad also. That option is also made available. And quality specifications, see, I told you that this is standard metal. So standard specifications will be very clearly mentioned with respect to entering into a contract. It will be 995 purity gold or 999 purity gold in case of gold Junia as well as gold petal. And delivery logic compulsory. If you hold the contract until expiry, you have to definitely take the delivery. Or else, if you do not want to take the delivery, you can square off. You can close your position by taking a opposite contract. Okay, if you are a buyer, sell your contract. If you are a seller, buy the contract. It's called as taking opposite position or squaring off. So this is how the gold futures contract is listed in MCX. Thank you. We will see the hedging strategies in the next slide.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.